Righty, I think we are live. Welcome to everybody here on Facebook, everybody that's new in Boulder All, everybody that's old and new in Boulder All, and all in between. Because I mean, really, we are such a big group of people, and sometimes I tend to forget some people in the sense of greeting them in the correct manner. So it doesn't matter if you're old, new, if you've been here a long time or not, you are so welcome to join our session once a week. And it's now on a Wednesday. It used to be a Thursday. So if you guys are getting confused, I was just as confused. I just said to Mike now with these time zones. And if he didn't tell me that the US is moving forward on Sunday, then my whole week would have been a mess and I would have created everything wrong. And see, that's why we've got people around us like Mike. Thank you, Mike, for giving me that info. So I just want to make sure that we are live on Facebook before we start everything. So hold on a second. I just need to go through the motions and it looks like we are fine. And that is great. So now I can close my Facebook and I know everybody can see us right there. Let's look at the comment section. All right, we are ready to get going. All right, so before I'm going to ask you guys here if you've got questions, I just want to give you guys some update as to what happened on our platform in the last few days that I didn't do on Monday because I was so busy. I completely forgot about that one. We have had some changes with regards to browser notifications. So you need to go check it out. It is really, really so much easier and nicer. If you go into the tool itself, it is self-explanatory. I will actually create a video for that as well, a new training session. But just to let you guys know is that browser notification has changed. It's not the same way as it used to be. So that is the biggest change that we currently have, which with regards to that. We also are doing some changes on help desk. It's not complete yet, so we are still in the process in testing it and that kind of stuff. But those are two main things that you guys need to know. All right. And then with regards to training, I have done quite a lot of training this week with regards to our DNS manager. I do think it's kind of updated and I haven't missed anything. So if I'm going to start showing you quickly where you can go and see that. So if you go to knowledge base, and I'm just going to type in DNS manager because that is where people normally will need to start if they want to search for something. So I'm just going to type in DNS manager. All right. I hope I spell it right. Click on the one that you find there. Let me just move this share button away because everybody can't see that. Then you can see I've got a little bit of a blurb, and then please see the other tutorials below this video for a deeper understanding. We've got the DNS Manager tool overview and then all the tools related to it in order so that you guys can understand exactly what's happening. So it starts with how to connect your domain to the Bullable server, create a custom email, and verify it. Guys, I did it in 4 minutes. So you guys would be able to do the same thing. I recorded my screen, 4 minutes, all of that was done. So you can go through all of this. We've also got some additional technical things that we are now these days adding to it. You can see we've got learn more about DNS zone, SSL records. But I want to just ask you guys to be very careful when you do go into this type of detail that we have right at the bottom, especially if you are brand new to Builderall, because you do not want to go mess with your DNS settings inside of the DNS manager if you don't really understand what you are doing. So if there is something that you're not 100% sure of, rather raise a ticket with support so that they can fix or add that record for you. Otherwise, you are going to mess it up, and then it's days of struggling to get all of your things inside of your website right. Your SSL, your verifications, your DMARC, and all those things that goes with it. So that is just to say I'm really work hard at the moment to try and get all of that updated so that you guys have got the best of both worlds. All right. So that is all from me. I see I've got somebody asking about updates on the magazine builder. They are still busy with that. Believe me, I am just as excited as you are. if not even more, because that is why I'm at Build It All. I mean, I don't know if I have told my story to people in the past before, but my life in Build It All started with the magazine. I was on many other different kinds of platforms in the past, and they just couldn't do what I wanted to do. And then I landed up in Build It All, and I saw that they've got a magazine builder, and I really, really tore that magazine builder to pieces by creating a humongous magazine, and I did huge success with it. And that is why I'm here today. I don't think that I am a success coach if I did not do that. So there is reason why things happen in our life in a certain method, because I really use the tool that, and I think I use it more than anybody else. I've got so many magazines out there at the moment. So no, the magazine, I can't give you some information as to when it will be released. I cannot tell you that. We will have to wait and see, but you guys will be the first to know. And obviously on Monday meetings, we will normally give you an update, just like I did with the browser notifications just now. All right. So I just want to, am I still sharing? No, I'm not. I'm just going to stop sharing there so that we can see what's going on here. All right. So very welcome to everyone here, Sonia and Peter, that jumped in late. It's good to see you guys as well. And I'm very chuffed that Jason is here. I haven't seen him for a year, guys. If it is not even longer than that. I mean, I left Build It All, and he was there, and then I left, and then I came back, and then he was still there. And so, well, welcome here for the second time, Jason. I just have to say thank you. It's awesome having you here as well. All right, so let's first start with questions. And it looks like Peter has got questions. I can see it in his face. And Sonia, do you've also got questions? Can I let the lady go first, Peter? Is that okay? Okay, good.
I love chivalry. I'm not modern age. I still love chivalry. So thank you so much, Peter. So a couple of questions actually, Jackie. The first one is the clocks go forward in the US on Sunday. I know they don't in South Africa, which I'm making a big assumption, which is where you're based. So I'm making a huge assumption there. Will the time still be 8 a.m. EST, or will you be doing it at 7 a.m. EST? Sorry, 9 a.m. EST?
No, my time stays exactly the same. For me, it will be. It's still going to be for you 8 a.m. No, it's not. You see that? You see why I hate this?
Yeah, that it's as long as I know if it's going to be 8 a.m. EST, that's absolutely fine because it just goes from 8 hours to 7 hours behind me. That's all.
It will basically be 9 a.m. for you guys because it's 1 hour forward. Am I correct? So it will be 9 a.m. for you. Yes.
Well, I'm in
my time stays the same.
Yeah, I'm in Qatar, so I'm ahead of you. But my clocks, like yours, don't change. That's why I just wanted to confirm. Will it still be okay? So it's going to be the same time for you.
Yes.
So it will go to 9 a.m. EST.
That's right. Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. So it's going to stay the same time for us. That was the thing I wanted to clarify. So next week it'll start from 9 a.m. EST. Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. And what I'll do, go on.
Yeah. No, go for it.
Okay. And what I'll do, I know that Astrid is joining shortly because she can help me articulate a couple of the questions that I do have. So I'm happy to pass it over to Peter now and come back on in a few minutes.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
No, not a problem. Just before we're going, Peter, somebody says the link is not working. It is definitely working because we've got the people here in the panel and they go through exactly the same one as you are. The only thing I can think of, the reason why it's not working for you, please go clean your cage and cookies. Maybe it's the previous session that your browser is remembering after I've made the update. Then you would probably be able to join the session as well, but the link is updated. All right, Peter, any questions you might have?
Good morning to everybody. Well, actually, I don't have any questions, but it's always good to be present to learn something new from somebody else's questions. So, and about the link that you said, and in the page of University Live, actually the bottom, the blue button, doesn't have the link, but on the side where it says join live, there's the link. So maybe that's why somebody got confused with that.
It could be. It could be. All right. So if you don't have a question, I have got something to answer. And Astrid actually raised that question. And I'm so afraid I'm going to forget about it. And then she might not make it in time or something. So I might as well just say it. And if she asks the same question, I will talk about it. Sonia?
Yeah, she's trying to get in. She's just messaged to say the link isn't working. So I've just messaged her to say click the like. Here she is. She's here now.
Hello, Astrid.
I couldn't get in. I kept clicking the button and it kept coming up a 404 error. I'm going, no.
Oh, shit. Yeah, and I didn't know who was saying that the link wasn't working because it just tells us Facebook user for some reason or the other.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying to them, I want to cover that one question that you sent to me earlier with regards to somebody that wants to test the super checkout or test the webhooks, and they want to see with the payment gateway. I think if I understand it correctly, that was the question.
Yeah.
I personally, you can test by multiple different ways. You can create a sandbox account for any of the payment gateways. I don't know all of them, but I do know that PayPal has got a sandbox as well as Stripe. I personally make use of Stripe because it makes it just so much easier for testing purposes, and it's always on my account. Now, I cannot show you how to do that because it goes into your private information. So for me to go and do my screen share is terrible. What you're going to have to do is actually go to the platform, choose the payment gateway, and read the blurb. Because in the blurb section, it will tell you exactly what is the testing or how to create that testing account. But you have to remember, so I might as well, let me see if I can just go there, and then I'll share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about with
Do you
regards
mean
to
in
payment
Stripe?
gateways.
Yeah, I know you can create that, but I think what they were wanting to do is have it so you don't have to go through a payment at all. So I don't using a webhook. I'm not sure how that.
I know what you say, but we can't do that without it. Super Checkout it's not going to. Let me try again. Super Checkout wants you to connect a payment gateway. Otherwise, it doesn't go forward at all. Not even with webhooks. It's still looking for a payment gateway. Now, with all of that being said, I mean, there is other methods that you can also test it. And I know there's some people in our company, that does it that way to make sure that things really, really work. And that is to actually use the payment gateway with a small amount, like in cents, like 50 cents or something, to test it to see exactly what is happening when you go through the payment gateway as well. I think once you have tested thoroughly with your payment gateway that you've chosen, your sandbox account, I would make a real purchase, even if it's just 50 cents, to go through your funnel or your website just to see how the payment gateway is reacting on a real account. So if you go on the Stripe, you can read your information right there. And then remember then just to make sure that you inside of the Stripe itself, you choose the sandbox option, because you can see this is my sandbox option right here. I know with PayPal.
I know how to do that per se. I thought they were, I think I was.
Now with PayPal also have it. You can see enable sandbox for testing purposes.
Yeah.
So you can choose which one you would like to use. I just use the Stripe one because I don't have a Stripe account. In my country, we do not have Stripe. So I like to test it with the Stripe and not struggle with PayPal and mess around with my accounts, because PayPal is so sensitive, if I want to put it that way. I don't want to make anything wrong on that account and they stop it and I can't get my money or whatever. I really treat that account with the utmost care at this stage. All right. So now Astrid is here. Sonia said that she had some questions and she needs you to be here present as well.
Yeah, well, what I actually said, Astrid, was that you will be able to articulate the questions that we have from our conversation earlier in far better way than I ever could.
Okay, cool.
So basically, Sonia holds monthly events. And I think we've had this discussion about whether to use a sequence or a workflow in a campaign with a workflow. So what's going to work for her scenario better? So basically, it's a monthly event. So we have a list specifically for that because, you know, she targets these people and then she moves them to another list later because she's got a program that she runs. She does ads and she runs and gets leads from it. So she wants it to be completely fresh leads that come in. But sometimes you'll have, sometimes someone that wants to do it again, the same person has done it 1 month and they want to come in and do it again next month. So this is trying to work out which is best for Sonia because some people don't get the emails. So if they come in again. So basically, do you think we should be using a sequence or a campaign in the workflow?
If you say they don't get the emails, does that mean they haven't confirmed? Because obviously they're not going to get it if they haven't confirmed.
Yeah, so once they've confirmed, they get tagged, and if it's the first time they've ever said yes to the program, they get the emails. But what we've noticed is that, let's say, for example, I enrolled, I go into it as a test. I then don't get the emails because I'm already in the system. Whereas the question, I guess, is do we need to create? I think part of the question, Astrid, was, do we need to create a new workflow every month? So like duplicate workflow and set it again so that then if they do enter that new workflow, they would get the emails. Because so far, if they're going from 1 month and then they want to do it the next month, they re-register in the second month, but they're not getting the emails. It's almost as though the system's recognizing they've already been in it.
That shouldn't be the problem. Then there's something majorly wrong because you shouldn't be able to have to create a list every single month for that purpose. Are you sure that in the list itself or in the email sequence that you've created, it says send to existing customers? Or is it maybe on?
No, we've done it as a campaign and a workflow, not as a sequence.
Okay.
I can show you.
Okay.
I have access.
Okay, show me.
Okay, present, share screen, window, just Sonia's account because my thing's too big. Is that showing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in Sonia's account. So I was thinking, because I've had this conversation with you before. So we actually did have a 3-day, or Sonia, I say we because I help us, you know, it's just automatic brain, so just ignore me.
Yeah, not a problem.
I'm her support. So we had it as a 3-day. So what we wanted to do is duplicate it because she's now changing it to a 5-day. So we wanted to keep that as our archive. So we have created a new campaign and it's got 5 emails in it. So she's changing from a thread. It's not active yet, but just she's redoing it. So when we do the workflow, we ended up leaving the old 3-day one. See, the thing is, if you've been in it and you go into overview, this was the old one, like I'm in there. If I try and resubscribe under that email, I don't get the emails if I want to be part of it because I've already been processed.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. But it still shouldn't be a problem if you are going to want to go through it again. I mean, okay, so did they receive, let me put it this way, when they went through it the first time, did they get all the emails that they were supposed to get?
Yes.
You see, that's where the problem is, because the system recognizes they've already received the emails.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So do we then need to create a new workflow every time so that if they step in the following month? Okay.
No, what I would do is in the workflow, I would create a condition that says when a person has opened this email or that email or whichever one it is, to unsubscribe them if they have not done XYZ. So I'm just trying to see if you're not going to know when a person is going to want to do it the second time around. No, you're not going to know.
They will literally just click on either if they see an ad again, or if they go to my profile, they'll see a link and then they'll register again. So it's almost like if the email address is duplicated, still send this workflow.
Yeah,
I know.
But we've moved everyone out of the list and into an archive. So the list will be new and fresh. The problem is the workflow, if you understand.
No, I know. Then you have to go back to the workflow and update the workflow every time. Is that what you're saying? Because now you need to apply the campaign to the new program every month.
Yeah. So the list will be the same because we're changing it from 3. We're just leaving that. And now it's going to be the 5 days. So that's going to be the active, and that's going to be the archive once we move them, once they've finished the program. So
I think
sorry.
No, I'm thinking aloud here. The thing is, you've already created it as a campaign, right? And
Should
it's
we
not
be using a sequence?
Yeah, I was now thinking if it was in a sequence, you can avoid using the workflow, and you can just every month just activate the new sequence. That's all. Copy and activate the new sequence. Copy, activate the new sequence. To avoid going back to the workflow every single time. Unless you are going to use the workflow. Pardon?
So you're saying, say this 5-day program was a sequence, we just duplicate it every month and activate it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Duplicate it for the next month, and just then make sure that that existing one for the previous month is on pause. Just pause it for the previous month if you don't want to delete it.
Yeah. So is that what you... So when you're in this one, because this one's been sent, and you look in the overflow, the sends, like for some reason I got it twice, but I don't know if I did or not. But it's exactly the same time. I'm there twice. But because people have received it, they won't get it again. So you're saying just redo the sequence each month, and then that's a simple process, and not worry about the workflow.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's what I would have done, but it still doesn't make sense to me. The system should still allow you to send it to existing person, whether they received it or not. It should be able to give it again. But as a workaround, that's what I would have done, is to just duplicate it every month and send it. You can still use the workflow, but then you're going to have to go do it for the next 12 months in advance, so that you don't have to go back to it every single time. But then you need to go and set it up in workflow for the next few months to automate, if you don't want to go manually in every single time. The whole idea of the workflow is to make sure that it is automated. That is the whole idea of this, of not going into the system every single time.
And that's where the question came from, that it just felt a little bit, the word that comes to mind, a little bit clunky, that we're having to go in and do this level of updates, if you like, ready for the next month. Exactly. That was the thing that attracted me to the whole Build All experience, is that I can automate so much more than previous, which I guess then leads on to the second question, Astrid, which was, if I remember rightly, was if we set a condition that says, so let's say, for example, we do the 5 emails that go out. So they get one on sign up, then they get one the next day, one the next day, one the next day, and one on the 5th day. So But what I don't want to do is, let's say they only sign up with 24 hours to go before I start. I almost want a condition that says, don't send if it's equal to or after this particular date. So the condition says, can you remember what the condition actually said, Astrid?
So
You cannot, yeah, I know what you're trying to say. The condition that you create cannot go according to time. You have to add the time in there with the yellow buttons to
the
say
yellow
how long.
buttons won't work. We thought we'd do it here in this condition.
Okay, I haven't tested that. I haven't tested that to see if it's going to work. That I don't know. I cannot tell you if it's going to work. You're going to have to test it first, but I have never used that.
Yeah, if the condition, so if they've got email one and that's the next day, the event's the next day, we want a condition. This is why we might need the workflow, or can we do that in the sequence as well? That's probably a question. If the condition is before, now you can't read this until I go.
Yeah, in the normal sequences, you can't do a condition. In the email itself, it doesn't give you the option. It does.
This is in the send campaign.
Yeah, no, it will be able to. You will be able to. But my point is this: the system should still send it to people that subscribe the second time. It should. It just makes sense. You cannot have a list and now somebody has joined that list. Maybe you have changed something on it or a new email sequence, and now they're not going to get the new email. It does not make sense. I would personally think you should contact support first before you try to make a workaround here and struggle and then make a mistake with all of the time spent to trying to get a workaround. It's not supposed to be like that. They should still get the emails whether they've been subscribed or not. Okay. Because what if the email has changed?
Yeah, because ultimately they're going into a different list, if you like. So always create a new list for that particular month.
Exactly.
So they're getting a new tag. So that tag should trigger the email. So whether they've registered before or not, even if they register now, they should still get that new email.
Yeah. Or what I also was thinking right now is what you also can do is maybe, I mean, when your next lot's going to start, or let's say next course. I mean, I'm just going to say course because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You can set up in the workflow to move a person from the one list to the other at the end of the month and start a new sequence. Move a person the end of the month, all of them, not just the one person, all of them that's in that list, move to another list. So you're going to basically have 12 lists.
Yeah, we did. Oh, I see. Right. So, okay. But then the tag, normally I add the tag per month.
Oh, so you did. Okay. Well, then the tag is also there. That is also a good thing.
Yeah, we add the tag here. So we add it. So it's a 5-day and the March 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, somewhere along down the line, you can maybe say, if this person have the tag March 2024, move to this list. If they do not have that, well, every single one of them is going to have that tag, right? Because it's the same list.
Well, on March, but then when they join in April, it would have an April 2024 tag when I run the one in April, for example.
Okay, so it's one list and it should stay on one list because you've got different tags and the campaigns goes out according to the specific tag. Oh, sorry, guys. It took me some time to get to that one, okay? But sorry, I now finally see what you are doing. All right, so it should work. Yeah. Yes, it should work.
What is happening is if we go into this old one, this is the active one. If I change this now, this is what was happening before. If I changed this, because we use this same workflow for 3 different months. So what I did is I went in and changed it from October to December, and then we changed it from December to January.
You must not change a tag in the workflow that you've created initially.
Okay, that's why we should create a new workflow.
No, you can stay in the same workflow, but down the line, I mean, obviously you can link sideways, you can go downwards, depend on what the issue is there. What I'm saying is you've got one list, a person joins the list, they're going to get this tag, let's say January 2024, all right? Then they're going to get a set of sequences. Then they're going to go on the end of the month. You want those same people to get the next sequence, or the new people that has opt into the list that has got the tag 20, let's say February, whatever. So they get adding it to it. Then you choose by tag who's
so
going to
you
get
go
the
in,
campaign.
add a tag, or what do you mean? So I keep
That-
going, adding the ones underneath.
Yes, you can go underneath that to say, okay, from this day onwards, from this day, let's say it's now January is over, February the 1st, this is the tag that the people are going to get.
So what do we do as the first one?
So would you keep a tag that's underneath that for the new registers for February, but then you also create a tag that takes that whole January list and adds them to the tag for February?
Oh, do
Yes,
I just go here and click the plus and go a new add tag?
The next tag, whichever the tag is, the next month's tag.
Yeah, it would be.
Yes.
And so
And you
that
can put it
goes off
aside.
there.
Exactly. So that is what you should do. Then eventually you're going to have 12 tags: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, or whatever the case might be, for how many it is. And every time that you are going to send out the campaign you need to tell the campaign you have to send out to March, you have to send out to June, you have to send out to July. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just obviously a little bit.
You know what we should do, Astrid?
Yeah.
I think we need to get in a session together so that I can also be with you in that account, and then we can figure it out, because it's very difficult now in a session like this.
Yeah, sure.
To work it out. But let's schedule an appointment, you and me. After this, let me know what times you are available, because obviously I've got other times available as well. Send me a message, direct message, and you and I can sort out the time that's convenient for both of us. And then I will get into a thing with you and Sonia, a Zoom session or whatever, and we can brainstorm this thing to make it work.
Yeah.
Make sure you record it, because that'll be a great use case study for all of us.
Yes, I agree, because I had similar questions. Remember, I reached out to you several months ago, Jackie, about very similar things. So
yeah, and if we can brainstorm this, we can create a video around it, and that way we have a solution for people.
Yeah, the thing is, it's very difficult to have a video for every scenario. There is so many different kinds of scenarios when it comes to these things. And that's the thing. How do you describe that scenario for people to go watch that video? Scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. And that's why I'm saying to you, I would rather go in a session and we can brainstorm this, because there is 10 different ways of doing this. It's not just the workflow or just the sequence. There's different kinds of ways that we can brainstorm the session. I really don't mind to do that. And same with you, Mike. If you come up across something like this and you really struggle, I really don't mind helping you guys out. But I won't be able to do like a 5-hour session.
No.
Now, was that kind of tracking? In my mind, I was seeing that like a new landing page for March would trigger a new tag, so that tag's there. But in the sequences, you've got the old tag saying that this group that's already been subscribed, whether it's 1 month, 6 months, whatever, that whole group gets brought over into March, no matter what.
Yes.
So,
Yes. But the whole problem here that they've got is that the people do not get the emails. That is the main problem, because they've been subscribed before. And if that's the case, then it is a support ticket. But I'm sure that it could, sometimes as users, we make stupid mistakes somewhere along the line. It has happened to me multiple times where I would sit for hours and trying to understand why I don't get this thing. And then it's like a minute something somewhere. And if there's more than 3 eyes looking upon something, it's easier to find. So wait, there is something, or there's a problem, or there is a problem. So let's rather do that, because I don't want to confuse everybody here on Facebook trying to see what we are trying to achieve here. And by the time they say, no, this is this is not going to flow.
And then we can just do a test with 2 months, and then
Yes.
test something over 2
Or
weeks.
we could duplicate it. We can duplicate it and use days, like
use
so that we can see, or even minutes, to make it see, okay, you've subscribed this minute, and now your next sequence is going to go out 10 minutes later. So we'll put it in the minutes section with shorter amount of messages, like 2 messages that needs to go out. Otherwise, it's going to be all over the place.
Okay, and then can I just double check something? So when we do an email, we can set a condition that says, let's say the start date is the 6th of the month, and they get emails on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. If they subscribe to it on the 4th, I would actually only want them to get day 1 and 2. So in other words, are we able to set a condition that says if they subscribe, if the date they subscribe is this, don't send, for example?
It's possible, but there's a lot of tagging involved, eh? There's a lot of tagging and a lot of conditions. We're going to have to sit down and try and figure it out, because everybody could join on different days. So are you going to have a condition for every single day? That's the thing.
Well, if there's 5 emails, I don't mind having a condition on all of those emails that says, if it's after this date, don't send. If it's after this date, don't send. If it's after this date, because it's only 5 emails with a condition. Yeah,
I'm sure that condition is available.
Okay, so then my next question would it be more robust to do this in Funnel Builder rather than the way we're doing it? I don't know, because I haven't really explored Funnel Builder yet.
Funnel Builder is literally just to create your pages and connect the pages together. It's just a faster method to create all the pages and not go create new page, create new page, create new. Funnel Builder creates all the pages for you. It creates the emails, but that's the difference. It's not creating specific email, like, or a sequence or a broadcast or you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So for simplicity, I would prefer to rather just create all the pages with Funnel Builder. If you've got like 10, 20, 30 pages that needs to be created, and then go straight to Mailing Boss and attach these things from scratch. That's just my personal point of view.
Right, got you. Okay.
Funnel Builder is great, but you're gonna have to double check anyways. So it's great to create all the pages, but for the linking sake and all those things, you have to go and anyways double check that these things work.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie.
Great. What's up, Stacey? Long time no see, eh?
I know. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Yeah, I was watching you guys and listening. I'm just going to say one thing, and I could be wrong, just going back to this issue, and I do have a question, which is why I joined today. The only thing that dawned on me, I know you said sometimes users, we make mistakes. This is so basic, and I could be wrong here, but when you make a list, and in the beginning of the list, there's settings, and it asks you things about whether to send new things to that. I would just go look at that. The basic list settings. Again, that is so primary. I could be wrong, but that's what dawned on me. Like if I was having this issue, I would go look at the basic list settings and see if there's something in there that talks to, and I can't think of what it is now, but there is something that it asks you that has to do with, maybe I'm thinking about where it asks, do you want to add them to, or do you want them to get new sequences, or I would just look at that. I would just look at those basic settings, because you just never know.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. I'm a very systematic person. And I mean, Astrid and Sonia is going to see that when we do, because I like to start from scratch. Here I add a list and I'm going through the motions. Now we are going to go and we are going to create the email sequence that's going to go with it. Now we're going to go to the workflow. Now we're going to add the list. Now we're first going to test opting into this list. Is it being added before I even create tags? So I'm very, very systematic when it comes to these things. And it does take a little bit of time sometimes. So I agree with Stacey. That was just here. Just disappeared from the screen.
Yeah,
I can't hear you, Astrid.
I always like to tell people, usually I always double check, triple check, because there's probably a short between the keyboard and the floorboard if Old Country's involved. Something obvious that I'm just missing.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah,
No, definitely.
I've had this similar issue with another client, so it would be good to. And they said, "Oh, do you have to reduplicate?" Because one of my other clients said that she had the issue where some people were resubscribing and they weren't getting the emails for the next one, but she's changed the email. So it's like, I'll have to tell her after we have that session and can get everything working and test, and then I can go back to her as well.
I've just had another epiphany here. You see, the more we speak about it, the more the ideas come. There is a condition. There's a condition that says if the email address, I just need to go and take a look. There is somewhere a condition that says if an email address exists, what needs to happen to that email? Because that's what I'm saying to you. There's too many different scenarios. We have to go take a look together to see what is the different options that we have available to us to be able to do that, because there's just too many things I haven't done myself, to be quite honest. I know that I've got one wonderful client. They are amazing. They are also making use of Monday.com, and we've tagged so many things. They've got like 15,000 lists, not just one, because it's different courses from different places coming from there. There's a lot of tags, but they literally pull everything into Monday, and then they do some sequences and stuff there, and then they push it back into Mailing Boss, and then Mailing Boss starts distributing it to different areas. It's amazing what those people has done. I mean, I wish I could take all the credit for that I was the one that did all of that, but it's not. My part was just a little bit. And you're not going to believe it, but that company knows more about Build It All than I probably do because they test and go into our systems, and it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing to see what those CRM systems can really do. You just need to give them a webhook and they create magic. It's just awesome. But anyways, all right, Stacey, if you got any other questions, Peter, anybody else?
I do, yeah. And I do, by the way, I do the same with ClickUp. I mean, not exactly the same as what you said, but I mean, in terms of using it for so many things, and I love it. So yeah, my question is around, I just started using for the first time recently, the WordPress Builderall, the WordPress Pro through Builderall. So I had an issue for a client. I need to clone a website and bring it over, and I did. I'm having a lot of issues with, first of all, I don't feel like there's enough information out there in tutorial just about using it in general. WordPress for the WordPress launcher editor for Builder. No, it's called WordPress Builder is what it's called, right? Builderall WordPress Builder. So I'm having some challenges with that in general. So this is kind of like a general thing is please, 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 can you look into and have those conversations? We need a little more robust information on how to best practices and how to use it. Yeah, because that's been a challenge for me. I mean, for me, I feel like it could be the best of all worlds if it works well. And it looks like it can. And I think that if I was starting something from scratch, it feels like it could work very well. I personally have a thing about added value. If I'm working with a client and I tell them I want you to use this proprietary service, this platform that I use, and which is Builderall, and then if something happens or at any point they want to change, I don't want them locked in. I don't want them to have to recreate something. So for me, it's the best of all worlds because you can download what you've created and upload it into a WordPress installation. To me, that's amazing. That's giving people options, and I think that's important. It raises the value of what you're doing. So I'm trying to make it work. In this instance, because I cloned the site, and it's a long story as to why I had to do this. I cloned the existing site because there are issues with the person who created and giving them access to their site. The very thing I just said, right? So I cloned the site. I then brought it into Figma. I don't know if anybody knows about Figma, which is a development tool. Brought it into Figma, and then had to use a plugin to get it out of Figma, which is like a Figma to WordPress plugin. In doing that, it created a theme. Anybody in this room, just curious, really familiar with WordPress in general? Anybody got any, Okay. So I was years ago, And then myself and some clients got hacked. Like, this is before I even came to Builderall. And I swore off. And of course, it's because of plugins and other insecurity and other issues. But we got hacked. I stopped using it. But it brought it into a theme. I brought that theme over into WordPress and into the WordPress Pro Builderall instance. I'm having issues with editing that theme. And part of it is my lack of current knowledge about doing it. So I'm trying to learn. But I'm just feeling like, what I've gotten from support is that, you can't do this because it's a theme. If you start from scratch, it'll work. Well, but that wasn't what I needed to do. So, this is not a specific question that I think you can answer right here, right now. It's just a use. So I'm giving everyone a potential use case, right? But I'm also asking for more as we move forward, because it really is the best of all worlds to be able to do that. And it looks like it could work really well if you're only doing that. So, yeah.
Well, I can give you answers on that, by the way, because I do have answers on that. Number one is that first I'm going to say, and I'm going to publicly say it, I hate WordPress purely because of the plugins. And I think that is my major thing. And because all WordPress sites look the same to me. It's just my personal opinion, and my opinion sucks. So please don't take that with a bit of salt. But anyways, the problem that we currently have with regards to tutorials for WordPress, even WordPress Pro as such, is it is a third-party program platform. Just like we have got the problems when people wants to integrate with other platforms or making use of Facebook APIs or Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager, we cannot create tutorials on how to do it on their platform. We can only create tutorials of what's happening on our platform. And with regards to the WordPress Pro Builder, website builder, we can give you tutorials on the builder, but not when there is a template involved. Now let me explain to you. A WordPress template cannot be used or edited in a website builder for WordPress Pro. It's two different kinds of platforms. They do not communicate with one another. So
it can actually, wait, let me just stop you there. It can. Yesterday, for example, we were trying to edit navigation because we wanted to use a new URL. Page by page, we could go in and we could see it and we could change the links. The issue was that we could change the links, but then it messed up the whole. It messed up the formatting. What were you saying, Jason?
I apologize. Clarabelle's message said she's trying to get into the room, waiting in the room.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, there you go, Clary.
Sorry about that, Stacey.
Yeah, no, I know, Stacey, I know, but you can't edit everything. That's the problem. That is why you don't get a lot of tutorials on it. We're actually in the process of updating all the tutorials, but it takes so much time because we're going in so much depth for every tutorial. But I know for a fact that we tried to build a template even myself the other day, and making use of a WordPress template and trying to use the website builder on it. Not everything was working. Some of it was working, but not everything was working. And the result that was given to me, and I'm just now telling you that, is because they said the template is one type of platform and the builder is the other type of platform. And the two do not synchronize 100%. I don't know if that's still the case because I haven't touched the WordPress Pro in ages, to be quite honest. But there will have to be new tutorials because things have changed on WordPress Pro. I've seen the updates in the back end that there was a lot of changes being made to it. But I will mention that again. But I'm the one that's going to be responsible for the tutorials anyways. So I will make a note of that, and I'm going to have to go play around with it myself. But I'm going to say it's not top priority at the moment because we've got so many other tools like the website builder and all those things that needs to be updated with a new look and feel. But I will definitely take that in consideration and so that we can create those tutorials. And when I do get to that level, I'm probably going to contact you and ask you to say, okay, what is the type of things that you need for? Because I don't use the WordPress. Where is the things that you're stuck for that we can create a tutorial around that? So let me just make a note here for that, Stacey.
Thank you.
WordPress.
Yeah, I have a client that uses WordPress, and I cloned her website, her old website, and I use the all-in-one thing, and I've got the all-in-one extension to upload it into the WordPress Pro.
What
Yeah.
all-in-one extension are you talking about, Astrid?
Like when you take a copy of the website and import it into the WordPress Pro. So like,
But is that the name of a tool? Is that a
yeah, it's the
plugin?
name of a
And what
plugin to bring it
is
in.
it? It's a WordPress plugin?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look for that because that's not the one that I use. I use this other company and they've really been trying to help, but it's not working the way I wanted to. So let me look at that. Maybe that when I bring it in that way, maybe I have more freedom to edit it within WordPress than their theme.
I have the license for the all-in-one extension, because if the WordPress is too big, it won't let you import it. So I've got a license to import it. So reach out to me if you have trouble.
I will. I mean, this is a baby website. It only has 17 pages, so it's not huge. That's not an issue. But still, I'll thank you, Astrid. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and I think I'm going to have to hop. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, my client's website is in Divi, because I used to do Divi websites back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like
Remember those.
Jackie. I just don't build websites. I've built 120 websites in the Builder, because that's why I got away from WordPress. But this one client wants her WordPress website. Jackie, can you please tell me, does the SEO work better in Builderall or WordPress?
Don't ask me that questions. Don't ask that kind of questions here.
I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that it's not a better here or there.
With my client. She doesn't want to change to the Builder website.
Well, let me put it this way, Astrid.
SEO to be stuffed up.
But you can do that no matter what. That's you. You have to know what to do and where to do it, and you can do it in either one. I gotta hop off. Thank you guys. I'll still be listening.
There is certain things, Astrid, that is our builder works perfect when it comes to SEO. The blog is a little bit of a problem because the blog at the moment is connected to the website. So there's duplication that happens, and Google see the duplicated things there. And that is why they are separating it now. You can still get the blog to rank in Google. I've actually did a humongous test about 6-7 months ago, where I wanted to see if my pages is going to rank blog pages as well as my website pages. The website page obviously ranked faster because it was a very low keyword. I make sure that it's not a keyword that everybody wants, just to see if Google is going to pick it up, as well as with regards to the blog post. But with the blog post, I had to jump through some hoops. I had to log into my Google Analytics or Google Search Console and force a page to be what do you call it? The robot go out, ranked.
Crawled.
So it is actually working. Our website perfect. It's just like Stacey say. There is no doubt in my mind that our pages cannot rank, because some of my own pages are ranking. There is no doubt about it.
Learn how to get the pages ranking better. So that's something I need to learn.
The ranking starts, there's just one important thing for ranking, literally two things. And I love talking about SEO. I've actually got a huge spreadsheet that I've created. I want to create a course on that because I do think that I'm quite good at that. The most important part for ranking is about the keyword. All right. The keyword that you are going to choose need to be something that is high demand but low supply. And if you find that low supply, let's say there's five sites that is your competition, all right, and they all use the same type of keyword, then you need to go make sure that their domain ranking is low. Because if the domain ranking is high, you might as well throw that. You're not gonna be able to compete against them because the site is old, the domain is not new. They've already got a relationship with Google, if you want to put it that way. They've got thousands and thousands of backlinks to their website. So there is those things: keywords, backlinks, and the age of the domain plays a big part. If you can get that right, and obviously your on-page SEO is perfect. You have to go for that A, make sure that the keywords is right, the content is right, all that kind of stuff on page. But after that, make sure that those keywords are the ones that people are typing in and that you don't have a lot of competition in. And even if you have to, make sure that it's a long tail keyword, because the long tail keywords are the ones that really being picked up. I always say to my team, rather take 50 new clients a month than trying to compete against big fish out there with huge keywords and don't get one. That is the thing. You might not have 1,000 people in your pool of people coming to your poodle in your pool of people, but you're going to get clients out of that because there's a bigger possibility than trying to get out of this big puddle of big fish out there. So that's just that one. I just want to quickly answer this, but I'm going to talk to you, Clary. I need to add a sidebot and want it to appear as a floating image on the right bottom side. Once click to get the sidebot starts on its frame. On mobile, the iframe goes to the very bottom instead of the right side. Do you know how to solve that? On mobile, you really do not want to have it on mobile on the side because you think it's going to get squashed. That is why it goes to the bottom of the screen and not on the side of the screen. You're not going to be able to solve that problem. Even if you put your sidebot into a box, I don't know if you've tried that. You put it in a box and then you put the iframe inside of that box and then you pin it to the side. That could work, but I would not suggest for a sidebot to be on the side of the screen, especially when it comes up. I suppose you are talking about just a little small icon on the mobile that pops up. So if you want to do that, you are literally going to, I'm just going to quickly see if I can share my screen here. I don't know. Let me see here. So if this is my screen, you're literally going to grab a box. All right. Just want to move this up for now. There's the box. Then you're going to grab your iframe. All right.
Oh, you're not sharing, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. There we go. So here is the box. Here is the iframe inside of the box. All right. Now, this is what you are saying. The iframe is in the box and then you've pinned it, but it goes to the bottom of the screen. Now, this is my suggestion. If you are still watching and you're with me, don't put your iframe there. All right. I'm going to put the iframe away. You're going to have a box. You're going to go and grab an image and you're going to add an image of your bot. Any image, what your site bot or bot looks like. Maybe it's maybe it could be text that says site bot. All right. It could be either that. If you want to say chatbot, you can write chatbot, but let's say that's just the image of a bot. And then you are going to pin that to the bottom or to the middle or wherever you want it. Now, doing it that way will work. Okay. Doesn't matter what you do. It's going to stuck there, even on mobile. It will still be there. Now, for this, you're going to link this image that's in here, the button or whatever you've put in there. You're going to link it to the sidebot to come up as a pop-up. All right. So you're going to create a pop-up for yourself on the side, under the site settings. And then when they click on the button, they're going to link to the pop-up and the pop-up is going to come up the screen. So I don't know if that is what you are talking about. Yes, Jackie, the little image. Yeah. Okay. So that little image. And you say that this image is not showing on mobile. It goes to the bottom. Have you tested this not by going to preview? Have you tested it on your cell phone when the thing has been published? That is the question here. Make sure that you test it on a live site and not under the preview, because some of the things inside of the builder do not show what it looks like on preview, only when the site is actually live. So let me know there while I answer Clarabelle. Clary, your question that you might have?
Good morning. I don't know if you saw, I posted on the group a question about when we design a website, is there a way to have it like the two languages? Like you can have like in English and Spanish so the person can switch back and forth. Is that a possibility with a website builder?
Yeah. Man, I can tell you what I have done is I've created a switch. I'm going to see if I can go quickly to this guy's site. Connecting coach. This is what I am currently doing. You can buy a tool, all right, from a third party to translate your site. But this is what I'm doing. If you do not have a lot of pages, then you can consider doing something like this. Now you can see mine asked me to translate. You can't see it here at the top because it's my browser and it asked me to translate to a different language. But sometimes people don't have that browser activated. So you can see what I've got is taalkeuse right here at the top, Netherlands or English. So I literally go and translate that page to another language. So the page gets duplicated inside of the builder. And the only difference is in the URL at the top, it will have home English or home Netherlands or whatever the case might be. So when a person goes and says, okay, I want to see this now in Netherlands, they're going to click Netherlands and it's going to go to that. Or you can do it as a subdomain. You can duplicate your site in another language in a subdomain. And when they click right there and they click the language, it's going to go to the subdomain. Everything is going to look exactly the same way. It's just on a subdomain. So your main domain could be connectingcommunication.coach. That is your main language. If you want to go to another language, you just create a subdomain for that.
Okay, like a Google Translator or something like that, a tool to translate the
That's
content.
exactly what I did, yes.
And what about if you want to integrate something like a DocuSign? You know, if they have a client that they need to turn on paperwork and they need to sign papers and stuff like that, maybe
If
they
they've
have
got
a
an
way to
iframe,
embed a code or something.
if it's an iframe, you can do that. But then it needs to be, they have to have the code in an iframe that you can add onto the website. Build It All works with everything that has an iframe. Okay, so if they've got something that you can put in an iframe, it might work. Sometimes it might not look great on mobile because the coding could be off. So to give you an example, I use Google AdSense on my website, but I don't use it on my mobile because it looks ridiculous on mobile. But on my main website, it works perfectly, but I hide it on mobile because you have to test it. EasyWit, for an example, that very complete e-commerce system that you get, beautiful on mobile as well as on desktop. So it depends really on the type of code that was written for that platform or whatever the case is, but it's worth testing it out. If you want them to be able to upload things, you can also make use of Google Forms. The only thing with Google Forms, you're going to have to add a button to the website. And then they're going to click the button and it's going to go to the Google form, especially if there is something that needs to be uploaded like an image. If there is no image that needs to be uploaded and only information, then you can embed it into the builder and that will work fine. But with the moment that there is documents or something that needs to be uploaded, it needs to be happen on Google so that it can go to your Google Drive. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
If you struggle, let me know. And
okay.
I will. Yeah.
Just as a side note, I had a client that was wanting some work done in another language, and I'm not very fluent in anything but Midwest English. And a suggestion was made to me that to use Google Translate, and as that suggestion was made to me, another person in that actual meeting said, "Well, you probably have a lot better luck if you use ChatGPT.
That's what I was
for your translation." Because
yeah, you always have to revise that Google Translator doesn't come 100% accurate.
Yeah, I was embarrassed.
Definitely.
I was embarrassed with some of the translation I was supplying to the client, and they said, "Well, I don't know if I want to use you." So that client's no longer with me.
Unfortunately, it is the truth that there is better ones than Google Translate, but it's paid services. I can't remember for the life of me what they are called, but there is a paid service or paid platform that you can use to do your translations as well. And that is why I personally would rather do a subdomain, create a subdomain for the language that you want to translate it into. translate it yourself, and then get somebody on Fiverr or somebody just to with that language just to go through it. Because if they have to go and translate everything, it's going to cost you more than
Yeah.
just reading through it to see if the grammar and all that text is correct.
I've actually tested that theory with GPTs. Of course, I've got a couple that I train myself, and I can do the audio. And I actually brought it up in 6 different languages with native speakers in there, and each one of them would tell me you can totally understand it. There's 1 or 2 words that would need to be changed, obviously, because of dialect. Even in Spanish, you got so many different dialects, and even like English, just like me and Mike speak 2 different dialects, but we can kind of understand. But it's the GPT actually is doing very good now.
No, it is definitely.
What'd you say?
What was that, Jason?
We've got another person saying that about that site bot that we've pinned. Do you know if I can link several bots among them, so as not to have one huge one? Yes, you can have several ones leading, one bot leading to another bot.
Jackie,
so you can have multiple bots, and then somewhere in the bot there would be a link to your other bot if you don't want one huge bot, depending on what the person chooses. So yeah, that is possible.
That's still Mary Lowell that's asking that question.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I am going to be very rude and I'm going to have to leave because I've got another appointment as well. And then Astrid and Sonia, Astrid, you will let me know your times that you are available for you and Sonia, and then I'll see if I could pick a time in between, and then we can set that up. And I'm sure it will be earlier for you as well in the day and for me, because I mean, this is now the afternoon. So it might be 8 o'clock my time, and then it will be earlier for you guys as well. All righty. No more questions? None? Perfect. Peter? Nothing? Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much, everyone that has been here today. It makes my heart so warm to know that you guys are here, and I really love it to be in a conversation with you guys. I might need to move this meeting again because I think it's going to conflict with this meeting I have to be in every week because I only have an hour. So we're going to see how it goes. If I've got a full house like this every week, then I will move it. If not, then I'm not going to move it.
Move it to earlier?
Earlier is going to be difficult for people in America because they will still be sleeping.
They'll get over it. It's late in America.
No, it's not. It's too early for you guys. All right.
It's 8 o'clock.
So I'm just going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to ask me a question, please tag me inside of Facebook, because if you don't, I'm not going to know that there is a question. And I will see you around at Monday meeting at 10 a.m. No, 11 a.m. EST time, because that's the US time that it's going to be. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good weekend.